Hi guys, Randy Richard here in the shop. So this is going to be part two, and we're going to continue on with the base plate for the dividing head. Should be able to get all that machined in this video. I had another request, Kendall Como down in Louisiana, and he was wondering about my little bandsaw. That was it, always in the background there over on the table, I think. I'm going to turn you around. I'm going to disassemble it real quick, show you the parts. I'll even take a tape measure so you got some dimensions. It's a portable band. Oh, sorry, it's a Milwaukee Portaband, just set up on a stand. And actually, I got the inspiration from Chuck Bomarito, Outside Screwball, another YouTuber, and I got the inspiration for building my stand kind of from seeing his. So took some ideas and made my own. But so I'll turn around and give you a quick review of that so you can see it. And then we'll get to machining the base, finish that up. Alright, thank you guys. Okay, so here's the bandsaw. That's the right side. That's the front. That's the left side. And that's the rear. So let's see here. What can I show you first? This is give me some glasses. No, I'll get the model number off the saw when we get it out. So this is a tube, steel tube. Tubing, it's not pipe, it's steel tubing. I had from another project, but a piece of scrap. And that's welded down on this steel plate. Underneath here is another piece of square tubing welded down. And then there's a handle bracket right here, welded down. So I'm gonna take it apart, and then I'll show you all the components. It comes apart very easily. So first, take off the table. All you gotta do is just loosen that. This table come up and slide off. That's what's on the bottom. Welded tube with a notch, 3/8 notch. Little band, hose clamp here with that one with a little thumb screw type on it. If you're going to use the bandsaw, you can leave it on there, or you can take this off by hand. It doesn't matter. It's just something a little extra to hold it on there. Now there's probably some better ways to do it, but this works pretty simple. Up here, a little rig I made is it's threaded in here. This is an extra little handle base plate I made. Just screws in, comes loose, and the saw is ready to go. You can now use it. You don't have to do anything to the saw. It's already ready to go just as it is. And that's how I built the stand. The intention was just to be able to take it off and use it. Nice and easy. Without having to take off any of the other parts to the saw. This makes it very simple. So this model saw is catalog number 6238-20. It's a 2-speed saw. So high-low switch. So what I do to hold the trigger right now, I just have a little block of wood. I just pull the trigger, stick a little block of wood in there. But I'm going to come up with something different. I wanted to put a foot switch on it, actually. I just haven't got to that. So that's the saw. So, well, here, let me show you. So the saw, I made this extra little block milled it in here to match the saw on the base, so I can just attach the handle back on directly. And threaded hole, I think that's 5/16, 18 threaded hole here on the side. So this is a captured stud here. I put a little tab here to capture that. This holds it in, and it's allowed to move in and out. So when you put the handle there, it screws it in nice and tight, holds it in position. Down here, where the table slips in, currently I have 4 pieces of aluminum arrows in here. And what they do is they fill up that gap in the corner. And they're just right. I'm going to make some more permanent ones, but these worked actually perfect to fill that gap in the square tube with the round tube in there. It takes up this play. Down in here I have, see if I can do this without dropping it, but anyway. You gotta do this just right. How did I get that together, huh? Well, this hole for this shaft is threaded. It's the same thread as it's in this round disc that's in here. So you thread it through there, and then you thread it into the disc. And right now I'm having difficulty in making that disengage and stuff. That way it can't fall off as what I have it. So anyway, I made some handles, and this disc fits inside the tube. So when you tighten this up, it pinches this tube tight in the square. It actually works pretty good. So I can slide this up and down. So you saw that. So there's the little saddle for the handle to sit in. And that's about it. It's pretty simple. The bottom plate is a piece of, it's a railroad switch tie plate where they would have like 2 rails come together. This is the plate that goes under the railroad rails. And then the railroad spikes would be driven through here. But this was a switch plate one. So it was about, well, almost twice as long as this. And it's about they're about 1.25 inches or so thick. And all I did was I did a little machining on the bottom here. I machined a spot out here in the middle, so I had 4 feet to make it sit on things a little easier and try to match this whole area. So I just machined out 1/8 of an inch depth or so in here. A nice solid plate, nice and well done. Worked out good. So that's about it. Let me grab a tape measure. So that, yeah, the plate right now, it's, well, almost about 1.25 inches really thick. So it's 11 7/8 inches long by 7 13/16 wide. This here is 15 inches tall. It's 1 3/4 inch tubing. This is 2-inch square steel tubing, 6 inches high. And this was made from inch and a, I think, yeah, inch and a. These are made from 1.5 inch square tubing, and just with one side been, I cut off the one side, welded together. So that's like 3 inches long. Yeah, that's 3 1/8 inches long. Total height is about 3 inches from there to there. The table, let's see here. The table is 11 by 10 inches wide by 11 deep. It's just a piece of scrap. I had it, but it kind of looks terrible. It's a piece of scrap. It's like about 3/16 of an inch thick steel. And then this piece is a piece of 1 3/4 steel tubing, same as that. That's 6 1/4 inches long, and we got a 3/8 groove milled in it for a distance of 4 inches. And that's it. So yeah, it's pretty simple. I'm gonna put in some. I want to put in some solid material down in here. I think eventually. I just haven't done it. And then you know, I'll secure them in there with something, epoxy maybe or something, just to hold them in place. But this thing just works pretty simple. You just drop it in place. Screw that in tight. Push it down. Clamp it. Yeah, I need to make a little fold over clamping mechanism for the handle. I think that would be pretty nice. It doesn't take much. It just needs a little something, just so the handle doesn't come up out of there when you're. Sometimes when you're cutting, it has a tendency to pull up. So it just needs a little something. And so I threw that hose clamp on there, and that's more than enough. Now, the height of that is so that you have it all the way up here. It's just enough room to get the tube in. There we go. And so you can raise this up and down. So you just have a couple inches or whatever, or all the way down. And you tighten it up, makes the table nice and solid. There you go. That's the bandsaw. If you guys, if anybody needs any more real details, you can email me, and I'll do some more accurate measuring if you really need it. But it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. So, hey, thanks a lot. So let's get back to the machining of the dividing head plate there. So get it finished up. So I'm over at the mill, and I got this plate. I cut it off on the bandsaw. I already milled the one edge clean, so we're just going to clean up, square it up, and get this to 4.4 inches. I just have a 2-flute 5/8 end mill on there. We'll get that measured. I'm just going to use the old calipers for this. I don't have a micrometer that big. So we're at 4.456. So 56 off of there would be good. We'll just use the DRO on here. We'll take off I don't know, 45 or so or something like that. There. See how we did. 4.40. So I think that's good enough. I think you're good. And all we're gonna do is just the length is a little short already. It's 8 inches versus 8 1/8 is the base. Rough. So we'll just I'm just gonna skim these just to clean them up. Okay, we're all clamped down. Roscoe just pushed the door open, and he's in here for food. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Huh? Okay. I'm not gonna get my buddy today. Oh. Okay, we're good. Now I'm gonna edge, find the corner, and then we'll go off of that for the layout. So I've come in a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna drill a 1/4 inch hole, and then I'm gonna countersink them for the countersunk screws, as we showed here before. These are 82-degree countersunk screws on the countersink. 82-degree countersink. So we'll just do each step at each one. Drill WD on either. Now I edge found each end, and I told it to divide it in half for the center on the DRO. That's how I got to the center. What I'm hoping to do is be able to put this all the way up in there so it pretty much registers each time the same. And once I get the depth right, I won't have to go through and gauge each one. I'm just gonna, I can still take it out and put it back in again, because it's all the way up against the shoulder on this part of the countersink. That way, if I'll register it there the same each time, and that way it should come out pretty close that way as I go around. After I get the first one. It's about a 1/2 inch diameter on the top is where it needs to be. Actually, that's the size of these screws, so it's going to be a little tiny bit over. I want them to go down in there a little bit. There we go, down there a little bit. And each time I was doing that, I was zeroing the DRO on the quill. So now I know, how deep to go for each one. Last one done, and looks good. Okay. This plate is basically done. I'll just hand chamfer the back side of these holes. And we'll position it on the dividing head. I'm going to disassemble it. I'll even take the camera and do that. We'll disassemble it real quick, and then we got to set up. We'll mark out the holes, drill the holes, and that'll be good.